The Barbarians have just announced their 23-man squad to take on the Springboks this weekend in Cape Town. And to be honest, it's not exactly the Barbarian squad I think we were hoping to see, but because there's a British and Irish Lions and all of these things on, they've had to dig quite deep. And to be honest, as a South African fan, I am feeling quite confident now going in to this game against the Barbarians. Also with the Springbok announcement only a few hours away, which I will be covering on this channel. So if you haven't hit that subscribe button, please hit that subscribe button. This channel is all about the Springboks, all about South African rugby. I'm making it my mission to bring you the best Springbok content over the next 6 months. So hit that subscribe button. Without further ado, let's get into it. So let's start with the forwards. Now, I think as South African fans, a lot of us won't be too familiar with quite a few of these guys. So I'm going to do my best to try and give you as much information about these players as possible as we move into this game against the Springboks. Now, starting with the props, we've got Cian Healy, who is currently playing for Leinster. He's a veteran Irish loosehead prop, known for his scrummaging, power, and mobility. He has over 100 caps for Ireland. So he's definitely no new guy on the block. He knows how to do it at the international level, and he will have to perform extremely well, especially against a Springbok forward pack. If you're looking at the likes of Ox, if you're looking at Thomas du Toit, if you're looking at Volko Low, he's going to have his hands full scrummaging against those types of guys. The next prop is Will Collier. Now, he's an English tight head prop with solid scrummaging technique, formerly with the Harlequins and now plays in the top 14 for the Castres. Will Collier was sort of in the mix with, has been in the mix with England over the past couple of years. I think he did get a cap during the Six Nations this year. I could be wrong on that stat. But again, a nice opportunity for him to sort of come to South Africa and get the opportunity against a world-class pack. The next prop, two more props left, is Hassan Collinger. Now, he's a French loosehead prop with explosive power and dynamic carrying. French international with strong potential. We haven't seen too much of him, but I do think, I mean, competing in the top 14, and what you will see with this side, it's a balance of sort of top 14 and New Zealand players with a sprinkle of sort of English, Irish, and one South African in the mix. Then our final prop is Paul Allo-Emile. Now, he plays for Stade Francais. He's a Samoan international tight head prop, renowned for his scrummaging strength and leadership as club captain. So he brings a lot of experience alongside Cian Healy. It's going to be interesting to see who they start and who they bring off the bench, but those are the props that the Barbarians are going with. Then into the hookers, there's two hookers, Camille Chat and John Ricky Riccatelli. Now, we know John Ricky Riccatelli from New Zealand. He plays for the Blues, my bad. He is a mobile New Zealand hooker with strong set piece fundamentals, and I mean he's had quite a bit of experience with that Blues side, so we can expect him to have a pretty decent game. And then Camille Chat plays for Lyon, a French hooker who's very, very powerful, known for his physicality, leg drive, and ball carrying capability. Moved from Racing 92 to Lyon. So as you can see, a lot of French and New Zealand guys in the mix here. We then move over into the locks, where our one and only South African will be taking part. There was chatter before the squad got announced that maybe Kerwin Bosch will be playing 10 for the Barbarians. That is not going to be the case, unfortunately. But for the locks, we've got David Ribbons, who plays for Toulon, an English international lock, previously with the Northampton Saints. He's quite physical, and you know what you're going to get from him at line-out time. Then the one and only South African Ruben van Heerden, who plays his rugby at the DHL Cape Town Stadium. He plays lock. He's had a phenomenal season for the Stormers. Sort of the last 2 seasons, he's really made a name for himself. And I think he can feel a little bit unlucky that his performances weren't recognized in a call-up to the Springboks. I know a lot of people were saying that Ruben van Heerden should be called up to the Springboks and be added as one of the squad members. Then the final lock is Josh Beer, who plays for the Blues, who's an emerging New Zealand second rower, strong in the line-out, and is known for his athleticism. So we can kind of see what they're going to do here. They're going to keep one lock for the bench. They obviously need to start 2, and they're probably going to end up playing a 6-2 split. I've obviously looked at the squad beforehand, and I think they're going to be playing a 6-2 split. Then into the loose forwards, and this is where the real big names start to pop up. Your Peter O'Mahony's, your Sam Canes, your Shannon Frizzell. But alongside them, we've got Hoskins Sotutu, also plays for the Blues down in New Zealand, a dynamic number 8 with silky offload, speed, and attacking flair. And we know what those New Zealand 8s can do. So he's definitely one to watch. Peter O'Mahony, we've heard and we know so much about Peter O'Mahony, the veteran Irish flanker. He's known for his leadership prowess. He's so physical, defends like a beast, attacks like a beast. And he himself, Sam Cane and Shannon Frizzell are definitely going to be the makeup of whether this Barbarian side takes the win or not in that loose forward department. Because, I mean, the Springbok squad hasn't been announced, but I think it's going to be Sia Khaleesi, Vincent Chichuka and Jean-Luc Dupria. So they are going up against some big boys. And it's a good challenge for Vincent and Jean-Luc Dupria to sort of take on these super, super experienced big names in the rugby world in Peter O'Mahony, Sam Cane, and Shannon Frizzell. Now, it's very, very cool to see Sam Cane back on the international stage. Former All Blacks captain, open side flanker, World Cup winner. I mean, Sam Cane is as decorated as they come. Then you got Shannon Frizzell, who's an All Blacks flanker, known for his powerful running and attacking and tackling, brings size and aggression to the blind side. So I would be very, very surprised if those three don't start: Peter O'Mahony, Sam Cane, and Shannon Frizzell. And then the last one is Lachlan Boshier, who currently plays in Japan for the Wild Knights, former Chiefs open side with excellent breakdown, like I said, now in Japan. And I think he is a little bit underrated, but very effective in the loose. So those are the forwards. I mean, some pretty solid forwards, some veterans there in Kian Healy. We got Ruben van Heerden in the South African colours. Then we got Peter O'Mahony, Sam Cane, and Shannon Frizzell. So it's going to be very interesting to see how they go up against the Springboks. Then into the back line. Scrum halves, we've got two of them. Santiago Arata, who kind of showed his prowess during the 2023 Rugby World Cup for Uruguay. He currently plays for Castres and is one of Uruguay's standout players, and I'm very excited to see what he can do against the Springboks on a massive international stage like this, with those forwards that can sort of set a foundation for him. Then the final scrum off is Tawera Care Barlow, who is a former All Black, now could represent Australia. He does have eligibility for that, but we know what we're going to get from him: sharp service, sniping runs, and he also is a Champions Cup winner. He currently plays for La Rochelle. So, I mean, these are not small name players that are coming over. These are Champions Cup winners. These are big international players for their countries respectively. So they need to try and it's going to be a fast, open running game. So the scrummers are definitely going to have a massive role to play. I would love to see Santiago Arata start. I'm not sure who is going to start. Then into the fly-offs, or should I say fly-off, and that is Josh Jackrom, who currently plays for the Chiefs. He's a young New Zealand fly-half who's showing some good promise. In that Chiefs side. He's got good distribution, good kicks, and it's going to be interesting to see if he goes up against a Andre Pollard, a Sasha, or a Marnie, and how he deals with that. Also, how he deals with the line speed of the Springboks, and if he can get it right and put the Springboks under some pressure with some good tactical kicking as well as some good distribution. Then into the centers, Peter Umanga Jensen. Now, if you watch Super Rugby, you'll know exactly who that is. He plays for the Hurricanes. Very, very powerful center, very big ball carrier. And our centers it could be Damien Delende and JC Creel. I would expect Rassie Erasmus to experiment a little bit, but we know what we get from our centers. They're big ball carriers. They're good on defense. So it's going to be interesting to see that New Zealand versus South African flair. And then Joe Marchant, who currently plays for Stade Francais, English utility back who can play center, can play wing. He's fast and agile. So it's going to be interesting to see sort of where those guys fit in and who they come up against. Then into the wings, and we've got Lester Fainga Anuku, who is an explosive Tongan-born winger with powerful finishing capabilities. He's a former Crusader and All Black, and I think if you've been watching Super Rugby for a while, you'll know that name. He's very powerful and elusive, and it's going to be a tough day keeping him and the likes of a Mark Talea very, very quiet. Mark Talea, obviously a current All Black winger. He's absolutely electric and can definitely take on the likes of a Ches and Colby or Kurtley Arons. Then the final winger is Jacob Ratumai Tavuki. Also another New Zealand winger who is going to come off the bench. I would assume they're going to start with Leicester and Mark Talea. And then the fullback is going to be Malvin Jaminet, who currently plays for Toulon, a French fullback with a big boot and attacking flair. So as you can see, there's a lot of New Zealanders. There's a lot of French players with a sprinkle of English, Irish, and a South African in the mix there. It's going to be interesting to see how they line up and how they take on the Springboks. The Springbok team announcement will be out right after this, so make sure you stay tuned for that. Hit that subscribe button, leave this video a like, and as always, drop your opinions down in the comments. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take it easy. Peace.